My name is Alex, and I'm about to tell you the most personal story of my life. A story I've kept buried for years, hidden behind baggy hoodies and forced masculinity. This is about the night everything changed, the night I stopped running from myself. It was my sophomore year at State University. I just moved into the dorms, and my roommate was this incredibly confident girl named Maya. She was a fashion design major. Her side of the room looked like a boutique exploded in the best way possible. Racks of clothes, shelves of shoes, accessories hanging from every available surface. Meanwhile, my side had 5 identical gray t-shirts and 3 pairs of jeans. From day one, I couldn't stop staring at her clothes. Not in a creepy way, at least I hope not. It was something deeper, something I'd felt since I was a kid sneaking into my sister's room. That pull, that magnetic attraction to fabrics, colors, the way clothes could transform you into someone else. Or maybe into who you really are. For weeks, I maintained my distance. I'd watch Maya get ready for class, carefully selecting outfits, coordinating colors, accessorizing with precision. She made it look so effortless, so natural. And every night, after she fell asleep, I'd lie awake staring at that rainbow of fabric across the room, my heart racing with want. It happened on a Friday night. Maya had gone home for the weekend, something about her mom's birthday. The dorm was quieter than usual, most people out at parties or away. And there I was, alone with an entire closet of possibilities. I told myself I'd just look. Just touch the fabrics, feel the textures. But that's never how it goes, is it? I started with something small, a cardigan. Soft, burgundy, with delicate buttons. I held it up to my chest, looking in her full-length mirror. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. Then I slipped it on. The feeling was indescribable. It was like coming home after being lost for years. The softness against my skin, the way it draped differently than my rigid, masculine clothes. I looked at my reflection, and for the first time in months, I smiled. Really smiled. That cardigan led to a blouse. The blouse led to a skirt. Before I knew it, I was standing in front of the mirror in a complete outfit, a floral dress that Maya had worn to a spring formal. It was blue and white, fitted at the waist, flowing at the bottom. I'd never worn anything like it in my life. I was so lost in the moment, so absorbed in seeing this version of myself, that I didn't hear the door open. "That dress looks better on you than it ever did on me." I froze. Complete, absolute paralysis. Maya stood in the doorway, overnight bag in hand, staring at me with an expression I couldn't read. My brain screamed at me to run, to hide, to make excuses. But there was nowhere to go. I was caught. The silence lasted maybe 5 seconds, but it felt like 5 hours. I opened my mouth to apologize, to explain, but nothing came out. Tears started forming in my eyes, tears of shame, embarrassment, fear of judgment. But Maya didn't laugh. She didn't look disgusted. Instead, she quietly closed the door, set down her bag, and walked over to me. "How long?" she asked softly. "What?" My voice cracked. "How long have you been feeling this way?" I couldn't hold it back anymore. Everything came pouring out. Childhood memories of trying on my mother's heels when no one was home, the constant feeling of wrongness in boys' clothes, the loneliness of hiding who I really was. Years of suppressed emotions flooded out in that tiny dorm room. Maya listened to everything. She didn't interrupt, didn't judge. When I finally finished, exhausted from crying, she said those 5 words that changed my life. "Let me help you properly." What happened next was magical. Maya wasn't just offering clothes. She was offering acceptance, understanding, and expertise. "First things first," she said, wiping away my tears carefully so she wouldn't smudge the subtle makeup I'd clumsily attempted. "You've got great bone structure, but you need to learn proper technique. And that dress, while cute, is totally wrong for your body type." She spent the next hour teaching me things I'd only dreamed about learning. How to measure my body properly. The difference between clothes that fit and clothes that flatter. She explained color theory, how certain shades complemented my skin tone while others washed me out. "You're a winter," she declared, holding up different fabrics against my face. Deep, Cool colors. Jewel tones. Stay away from pastels. They're not your friend. She pulled out outfit after outfit, creating combinations I never would have thought of. A black pencil skirt with an emerald green blouse. High-waisted jeans with a fitted crop top. A burgundy wrap dress that made my waist look incredible. Then came the real transformation makeup. Maya sat me down at her desk, which was covered in more cosmetics than I'd ever seen in my life. Brushes of every size, palettes with dozens of colors, bottles and tubes of products I couldn't even name. Makeup isn't about becoming someone else, she explained, carefully applying primer to my face. It's about enhancing what's already there, highlighting your best features. She taught me everything. How to properly prep skin. The importance of color correcting. Foundation matching. She had 3 different shades and mixed them to get my exact tone. Contouring to create dimension. Eyeshadow blending techniques. The difference between day makeup and evening looks. Mascara is your best friend, she said, carefully coating my lashes. It opens up your whole face. And see this. She showed me how to use eyeliner. Small wings. Very subtle. It lifts the eye without looking overdone. When she finally turned me around to face the mirror, I didn't recognize myself. Or rather, I recognized myself for the first time. The person staring back wasn't Alex, the awkward college guy who hid behind hoodies. This was someone confident, beautiful, authentic. My eyes looked bigger, my cheekbones more defined. The emerald blouse brought out flecks of green in my eyes I'd never noticed. The way the skirt hugged my hips felt right in a way my baggy jeans never had. I started crying again, but this time from joy. That night turned into a weekend-long crash course in everything I'd missed. Maya didn't just share her closet. She shared her entire knowledge base as a fashion design student. She taught me about fabrics. How cotton breathes differently than polyester. Why silk feels luxurious, but requires special care. The importance of reading washing labels because that cute dress isn't so cute anymore after you accidentally shrink it in hot water. We talked about body types and style theory. Maya explained that fashion isn't one size fits all. It's about understanding your proportions and dressing for them. You've got an inverted triangle shape, she explained, showing me diagrams in one of her textbooks. Broader shoulders, narrower hips. That means you want to create balance. A-line skirts are your friend. So are bootcut pants. Anything that adds volume to your lower half. She showed me how to walk in heels, not the wobbling disaster I'd attempted earlier, but proper technique. It's all in your core, she demonstrated, gliding across the room in 4-inch stilettos like it was nothing. Engage your abs. Take smaller steps. Let your hips move naturally. I practiced for hours, stumbling and laughing, until I could make it across the room without looking like a baby giraffe. We organized her closet, well, our closet now, by color and occasion. She pointed out pieces that would work for me versus pieces that wouldn't. This is important, she said seriously. Just because something looks good on me doesn't mean it'll look good on you. We have completely different body types and coloring. Fashion is personal. She taught me about accessories, how the right necklace can complete an outfit, how belts can create a waist where there isn't one naturally, how bags should complement rather than match exactly. By Sunday night, I was a different person. Not just in appearance, but in confidence. Maya had given me more than clothes. She'd given me permission to be myself. So what now? She asked as we sat on her bed, surrounded by outfits we'd put together for me. That was the question, wasn't it? I'd spent one perfect weekend living authentically, but Monday morning would come. Classes would resume. Reality would hit. I don't know, I admitted. I can't exactly show up to Chemistry 101 like this. Why not? Maya, come on. You know why. The stares, the comments, the what? People's opinions? She grabbed my hands. Alex, listen to me.
I've watched you this weekend.
I've seen you come alive in a way you clearly haven't been before. You think I haven't noticed how you've been dragging yourself around for weeks? Like you're carrying the weight of the world. She was right. I'd been miserable, going through the motions, playing a role that didn't fit. I'm not saying it'll be easy, Maya continued. People can be cruel. But you know what's crueler? Spending your entire life pretending to be someone you're not. Hiding who you really are because you're afraid of what others might think. Her words hit hard. Because she was right. What was the alternative? For more years of hiding? A lifetime of secret shame and borrowed moments when no one was looking? Start small if you need to, she suggested. Maybe just incorporate some pieces into your regular wardrobe. Androgynous stuff. Work your way up to the full looks. Or don't. Maybe you want to go full femme immediately. There's no right way to do this, Alex. It's your journey. Monday morning, I stood in front of the mirror wearing tight black jeans, women's jeans, with actual hip definition, and a flowy black top that Maya said was gender-neutral enough to not raise eyebrows, but definitely feminine energy. My nails were painted a subtle gray. I wore mascara, just enough to enhance my lashes without being obvious. My heart raced as I walked to class. Every person I passed felt like they were staring, judging, knowing. But most didn't even look up from their phones. The ones who did notice didn't say anything negative. A few girls complimented my nails. One guy in my English class said I looked different but couldn't figure out why. Maya had been right. Subtle changes didn't bring the dramatic reaction I'd feared. Each day, I pushed a little further. More obvious jewelry. Tighter clothes that showed my figure. Makeup that was less subtle. And slowly my classmates adjusted. Some were curious but kind. A few were clearly uncomfortable but kept their opinions to themselves. Most didn't care at all. The first time I wore a dress to class, a simple black midi dress with a cardigan, was terrifying. But it was also liberating. Walking across campus, feeling the fabric move around my legs, being fully visible as myself, it was powerful. Maya became more than my roommate. She became my best friend, my fashion mentor, my biggest supporter. She was there for the good days and the bad days, and there were definitely bad days. Like the time someone wrote "freak" on our dorm room door. Maya found it before I did and scrubbed it off, but I could see the anger in her eyes. "Don't let them win," she said fiercely. "Don't let small-minded people make you small." She introduced me to other students who were exploring gender expression. A support group met Thursday nights in the student union. I found a whole community of people navigating similar journeys, some trans, some non-binary, some like me who were still figuring out the labels. Maya also introduced me to her fashion design friends, who treated me like a walking canvas. They'd practice new techniques on me, experiment with different styles, push me out of my comfort zone. "Try this," one of them said, handing me a bold, patterned jumpsuit I never would have chosen for myself. But when I put it on, it was stunning. They taught me that fashion was art, expression, joy. It wasn't frivolous or vain. It was a form of communication, a way of telling the world who you are without saying a word. The hardest part wasn't strangers or classmates. It was telling my family. I went home for Thanksgiving break, terrified of their reaction. My mom opened the door, saw my painted nails and styled hair, and froze. The silence was deafening. My dad looked confused. My younger sister Emma stared, with wide eyes. Then Emma said, "Your eyeliner is really good. Can you teach me?" That broke the ice. We sat at the kitchen table while I showed Emma basic makeup techniques, and slowly my parents started asking questions. Not accusatory questions, but genuine curiosity. They were trying to understand. "Are you?" My mom hesitated. "Are you transitioning? Should we be using different pronouns?" "I don't know yet," I answered honestly. "I'm still figuring things out. Right now, I just know that expressing my feminine side makes me happy. Whether that means I'm trans or non-binary, or just a guy who likes wearing dresses, I'm not sure. I'm still learning about myself." My dad was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "We just want you to be happy, son. Or should I not call you that?" "For now, it's okay," I said, touched by his effort. "If that changes, I'll let you know." It wasn't perfect acceptance. There were awkward moments and misunderstandings. My dad struggled with seeing me in feminine clothes at first. My mom worried about what the extended family would think. But they were trying, and that meant everything. By the end of the semester, I was fully living as my authentic self. Some days that meant full feminine presentation, dresses, heels, full makeup. Other days it was more androgynous. I learned that gender expression is fluid, not fixed. I didn't have to choose one way of being. The change wasn't just external. My grades improved because I wasn't spending all my energy hiding. I made deeper friendships because I was being genuine. I even started dating, something I'd avoided before because I couldn't be myself. Maya's closet, our shared closet, became a symbol of acceptance and transformation. Every time I opened those doors, I remembered that Friday night when she caught me, when she chose kindness over judgment, when she saw me for who I really was and said, "Let me help." Looking back now, I realized that sharing a closet with Maya was about so much more than clothes. It was about sharing vulnerability, trust, and authentic self-expression. She didn't just give me access to her wardrobe. She gave me permission to exist fully, to take up space, to stop apologizing for who I am. There are still hard days. Still moments of doubt, of fear, of wishing things were simpler. But then I catch my reflection in a window or mirror, wearing an outfit that makes me feel powerful, beautiful, authentically me, and I remember why I took these steps. I'm not hiding anymore. I'm not waiting for perfect conditions or universal acceptance. I'm living now, as myself, unapologetically. If you're reading this and you relate to my story, if you've ever felt that pull toward clothes that don't match your assigned gender, if you've ever tried something on in secret and felt that rush of rightness, if you're hiding parts of yourself because you're afraid, I want you to know something. You deserve to exist fully. You deserve to express yourself authentically. You deserve to find your own Maya, your own support system, your own community of acceptance. It won't always be easy. People will judge. Some will reject you. You'll face discrimination and misunderstanding. But you'll also find unexpected allies, beautiful communities, and a version of yourself that you never knew existed. That college dorm room, that shared closet, that moment of being caught, it was terrifying at the time. But it was also the beginning of my real life. The life where I stopped performing and started being. Maya taught me that fashion is armor and expression, that clothes are communication, that how we present ourselves to the world matters because it's how we claim space in it. She taught me that femininity isn't weakness, it's power, creativity, and courage. But most importantly, she taught me that being yourself, even when it's scary, even when it goes against everything you've been told, even when it means losing people you thought cared about you, being yourself is always worth it. I don't know what my future holds. I'm still exploring my gender identity, still learning what labels, if any, feel right. I might transition fully. I might identify as non-binary. I might just be a gender non-conforming person who loves expressing their feminine side. The destination isn't as important as the journey. What I do know is that I'll never go back to hiding. I'll never again spend my nights staring at clothes I'm afraid to wear, at a reflection that doesn't match my soul. I have a closet full of possibilities now, some inherited from Maya, some I've built myself. Every piece tells a story. The first dress I wore in public. The heels I finally learned to walk in. The lipstick shade that Maya said was absolutely my color. These aren't just clothes. They're milestones, memories, markers of becoming. So to anyone struggling with similar feelings, start small if you need to. Paint your nails. Try on a friend's jacket. Experiment in the safety of your own room. Find your Maya, your safe person who will help you explore without judgment. And remember, you don't owe anyone an explanation for who you are. You don't need to justify your clothing choices, your expression, your existence. You just need to be brave enough to open that metaphorical closet door and step out. Because on the other side of that fear is freedom. On the other side of that shame is joy. On the other side of hiding is a whole authentic life waiting to be lived. My roommate shared her entire closet with me that night. But what she really shared was possibility, the possibility of being fully, completely, unapologetically myself. And that's a gift I'll spend my whole life paying forward, helping others find their own courage to open that closet door and step into their truth.